Welcome to Stormin Chocolate. I'm Stormin Norman. Today's song is number 33, Overkill, from the album Cargo by Men at Work. Men at Work was an Australian new wave / pop rock band that splashed into the international stage in 1982 with the release of their debut album, Business as Usual. This album garnered them 4 of the Australian Countdown Music and Video Awards in 81-82, in addition to the Grammy for Best New Artist in 1983. I'll touch more on the history of the band and Business as Usual when we cover my favorite song from the album, Down by the Sea. Today, we'll cover the prelude to the song Overkill and how its album was stymied by the band's initial success. As I said before, Business as Usual hit the US in April of 1982, 5 months after its release in Oz in November the previous year. It had 3 official singles plus at least 2 other popular songs. In most cases, their 3rd single was released in mid to late 1982 here in the US, well after the first 2 singles following the album release. Effectively, as the world headed into 1983, Business as Usual was still going strong. As a matter of fact, it was ranked as number 2 on Billboard's year-end chart for 1983. Cargo, their follow-up effort, was recorded in 1982 and done by mid-year, and released almost a year later in 1983, pushed back by the continued success of their debut album. The band toured North America in summer of 1982, supporting Fleetwood Mac for their Mirage album, and their popularity soared. Cargo stayed at number 1 in Oz for 2 weeks, hit number 2 in New Zealand, and entered the US charts at number 3. The lead single, Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive, hit number 6 in Oz in late 82 and number 38 in the US the following year when the album was released here. The follow-up single, Overkill, hit number 5 in Oz, and I'm waiting for it to scroll again because it's stuck up on US charts at number 3.
It's stuck up.
It is stuck up. The follow-up single, Overkill, hit number 5 in Oz and number 3 in the US, and their final single, It's a Mistake, hit number 6 in the US. However, because of the overlap and the pushback, there was a loss of dynamic with the band. The actual release of Cargo was far overshadowed by the slow burn that was Business as Usual. Yes, we were getting new videos from the band, one for each single release, but which album they were from was kind of confusing in my memory. It just seemed like every couple months there was a new single and a new video with no pause, no respite to recharge. And while the album did have success, it kind of derailed the anticipated chain of events that the music buying public had grown used to. There's a pause that needs to happen so the public doesn't get oversaturated. It doesn't have to be like the 7 years between Pyromania and Hysteria for Def Leppard, but could be like the 2.5 years between Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here. Their 3rd album, Two Hearts, failed to capitalize on the previous successes and was marred by internal strife, just like the Roman Empire. This resulted in the split with their bassist and drummer being fired and the resulting album having a very different feel whilst utilizing drum machines. The band released no more studio albums and only the live album, Brazil, from their 1998 reunion tour of South America. Heckle and Jive was an interesting release choice for the first single from Cargo, but that was kind of the same for Who Can It Be Now from Business as Usual. Other songs on both albums, in my opinion, are more fun, certainly Down Under from Business and Overkill from Cargo. But that may be a business strategy to start with a good song, get your foot in the door, and then release the stronger songs. I really love the lyrics and the structure of Overkill, and the music supports it beautifully. The song starts immediately with 4 pronouncements of drums and cymbals, similar to how Traffic's Empty Pages starts, except not as laid back. Overkill then continues with a fairly fast beat with rhythm guitar picking at 120 beats per minute, which still isn't scrolling, and it's stuck up. Overkill then continues with a fairly fast beat with rhythm guitar picking at 120 beats per minute, which keeps the song moving and making it upbeat. Colin Hay, the lead singer, immediately starts with the first verse. The verses have an A-B, A-B, A-B structure, with all 3 choruses being the same except the middle one, which has an added introductory line into the guitar/sax solos. The verses are 8 lines long. The odd-numbered lines rhyme in pairs, i.e. the first and third, the fifth and sixth, which the even-numbered lines are some variations on shun, complication, situation, exasperation, etc. This interwoven rhyming scheme adds to the song's fun. The gist of the song is about starting a new relationship, but trying to take it slow and not get overwhelmed, while on the other side, moving forward because being alone brings exasperation. And this whole mental dilemma can get overthought, overanalyzed, and leads to overkill. The first verse basically discusses the first side, trying to take it slow, but not too slow.
I can get you sleep. I think about the implications of diving in too deep, and possibly the complications, especially at night. I worry over situations. I know we'll be alright. Perhaps it's just an imagination.
And the second verse starts with the following, describing the alternative, the loneliness.
Between the sheets only brings exasperation. It's time to walk the streets, smell the desperation.
That's in the video. By the way, that's in the video.
You're in the video.
The chorus describes the mental quandary, the overkill of emotions as they come and go.
Day after day it reappears. Night after night my heartbeat shows the fear. Ghosts appear and fade away.
The third verse is actually the same as the first verse, except Colin sings in a higher octave, which really brings through the desperation. And the song ends on the third repetition of the chorus last line. It seems like it's a short song, but it's actually about 3:45. The guitar/sax solo is the length of a verse and chorus, with the guitar following the rhythm of the verse and the sax the rhythm of the chorus. The challenge I find with a song in singing it is that Colin starts near the bottom of his range for the first 2 verses and ends up at the top of his range for the final verse. I'm either going to be just beyond my low-end range at the beginning and then singing an octave or 2 below Colin in the final verse. But this isn't the only song I have that problem with. But I love to sing along with it because of the catchy rhythm and upbeat beat. And while the lyrics are kind of dark, they cannot outweigh the rhythm and the beat. So that's it for Overkill by Men at Work from Cargo. Next time we'll take a nice sunset drive and contemplate the wavelength of our tangerine dreams. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Why are you banging on the table?
Boom, boom, boom.
All done. That's not the way it goes. You want to hear the way it goes? Or you want to try again? I had to change the script. I had to listen to it again to make sure that I did it correctly.